This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson,
And I am S. Foster.
and this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
Man, I'm alright, man. Just out here trying to live, out here trying to make it in this thing that we call the world. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is probably 5 to 10 to 20 to 15 to 30 more dollars than it used to be. But you know how it
Man,
be, man.
yeah,
Nah, but I'm good though, man. Just glad to be back in the lab. We're a few days late, but we had some stuff going on this weekend.
yeah,
But we had to call an audible today, but we'll get
yeah,
into that a little later. But
yeah.
how you feeling though, man? Everything good with you?
Oh man, everything is great. I was going through some issues with my leg this past week. I don't
Oh
know
man.
what it was. I think it was like some inflammation or something with one of my nerves, but it's kind of hard to, get around. Had to take a couple days off work, but everything ended up being cool. I'm back to normal. So, yeah. I just gotta watch what I'm eating, watch what I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? Drunk a whole lot of water this weekend. Drunk a whole lot of water this weekend. So if you anywhere in the Dayton area and it might not be water in that area, that was probably me. Cause yeah, I went crazy this weekend. I flushed my whole system out. You know what I'm saying? Um, Getting a lot of rest. I got a lot of sleep this weekend, so everything been good, man.
That's what's up, man. I hope that he gets better though, man.
Oh man, and the crazy part, it wasn't my knee this time. It
Oh.
was my upper thigh, like
Oh.
around where the hip area is.
Hmm.
So yeah, let me tell y'all something, man. I know, what I'm saying, we getting older and shit. It don't even matter how old you are at this point. If you injure anything in your back, your lower back or your upper back, just your back in general, your legs, it's over, bro. There's nothing on God's green earth that can prepare you for this. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
The I will never ever, you know what I'm saying, just ever disrespect my legs or my back ever again. I mean, like seriously, like you just don't realize just all this, like the shit that I was just thinking about. I'm like, man, because you know me, I'm like, bro, if the fucking zombie apocalypse happen, I'm out of here. I can't run. I'm out here hobbling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking like, well, shit. You know what I'm saying? When I had my sciatic problem, I'm like, bruh, if something was to happen, like if it was an emergency or something, I'd be out of here. Cause you
Yeah.
really can't do shit when your back out. I tell you that right now.
No, nothing.
Yeah, your motherfucking back go out. I don't get you if unless you could fly, you out of there.
You can't even sneeze.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about no walking, crawling, none of that shit, bro. And then you can't sleep right. Like I was trying to find a way to lay and shit, bro. I'm talking about. So I was the days I was off, I was sleeping during the day, which was cool because I was sitting up. Like when I was sitting up, it wasn't an issue. So I was sitting up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sleep on the recliner chair and all that shit. I was good, man. I got the laying down, trying to like stretch out.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sitting there maneuvering and shit. I got covers under my leg and shit. Like, bro, this shit was ridiculous. I'm like, fuck this, man. So, man, listen, if y'all out there, man, make sure y'all drinking plenty of water. Make sure y'all getting plenty of sleep, stretch, do all that good stuff. Take care of yourself, man. Um,
Yeah.
but before we get to the shits, I told you I got a question for you because I was posed this question on TikTok. Um,
Okay.
through a creator that I follow, and they do like a lot of comics and gaming and all that type of content. But we had a conversation about Batman, and I was telling him why it's some instances where I think Batman is a trash individual. And he was like, well, what do you mean? So I was breaking it down to him, and I'm like, ego or alter ego and just normal together, like he's just a trash individual. Like, for instance, right? Like Bruce Wayne is a billionaire,
Mhm.
right? And he runs Wayne Tech Industries. And Wayne Tech Industries is like the biggest company in Gotham City. Okay. And the fact that Wayne Tech is the biggest company in Gotham City, that you would think that business would be booming, the economy would be up, like everything would be great. But no, it's crime every goddamn where. So much so that this nigga had to teach himself karate and go out at night and fight crime to help the police. So I was like, what type of billionaire just don't create more jobs, bro? Just start another fucking factory or something. You know what I'm saying? To help these motherfuckers boost the economy to where they don't. Because if you think about it, all he got to do is start another factory or like bring up another business somewhere in the area. Because he could buy whatever the fuck you want. He Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
You do that, and you don't have to worry about these motherfuckers like stealing shit and breaking into shit and shooting up and gang violence and all that, because now everybody got a job. You too tired to go out here and do crime, right? And then I was like, if you think about it, right, all the motherfuckers that he actually like faces as far as like the villains, he locked them up and then they get out. He locked them up and then they get out. The only motherfuckers that's really suffering is the niggas that work for the villains, because he be beating the shit out of them.
true.
And they ain't got no job for real. So I know they ain't got no health insurance. So they be just fucked up out here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you was wow.
So
No
we was having this
self-esteem.
conversation, we laughing back and forth and shit. So he was like, man, he was like, I'm telling you, man, he was like, you making it worse than what it is. I'm like, nah, I said, now that I come to think about it, Gotham City is a trash ass place to live in. Cause here you got this greedy ass billionaire that lived there, and he ain't helping nobody. He ain't building no motherfucking jobs. He not doing nothing for the economy, but he getting dressed up to go beat the shit out of the local people. So I said, man, I'd rather live in Metropolis. So he was like, wait, so you mean to tell me you would rather live in Metropolis than Gotham City? I said, yes. So then he broke down some shit about Superman and all this other shit. So I come to ask you, would you rather live in Gotham City or would you rather live in Metropolis? Before you answer, I want you to think about it, but before you answer, this is the shit you got to go through in Metropolis, right? Now,
Mhm.
Metropolis ain't a lot of motherfucking crime. Economy booming, everybody good. But every now and then, more so than less, right? Alien invasion is coming down and fucking shit up. It's constant construction going on everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Buildings is falling because Superman flying through these motherfuckers, knocking shit over. Then you got Lex Luthor, right? Who is also a billionaire, who he has LexCorp and he has all these jobs, but he's a villain. He's a trash individual as well. And he dumping shit off in the rivers and shit. So it may not even be safe to drink the water. Then, you know what I'm saying? He beefing with Superman on the low. The next thing you know, all of these motherfuckers from other galaxies and shit coming down to fight Superman. It always seemed like it's some shit happening in Metropolis that you don't want to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga,
Mhm.
he don't fight local crime. Like he do shit like stop trains from derailing and shit like that. So you could be on your way to work and not even know you about to lose your life. And you just hoping Superman get there. You know what I'm saying? So would you rather live in Metropolis or Gotham City?
Gotham City, man.
Really?
Um, yes, because the thing is, like with Gotham City, what I've noticed is me being the person that I am, I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the night shift. And then I don't like being out at night. So I'm gonna be at
Okay.
home when all the bullshit is going down.
Okay.
So
That's
I'm
fair.
good. Batman ain't gonna be fucking with me because I'm gonna be in the house. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I'm not out here, you know what I'm saying, doing crimes and witnessing crime. That's another thing, man. I don't want to be a witness to shit. You come to me, I
Fair.
ain't see shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm Stevie Wonder out here in these streets.
But
I
see
don't
this.
want to get involved in anybody's problems. So, so,
Oh, we. So this is what I'm saying, right? Scenario, hypothetical.
all
You
right,
go to the movies. Movie a little long. Say you went to go see Killers of the Flower Moon. Long as
all
shit,
right,
right?
yep.
You get out at 11 o'clock. You just trying to go home. You
Okay.
trying to cross the bridge to get to your neighborhood. Next thing you know, Joker blow that motherfucker up. Now what? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, bro. Gotham City is too much erratic shit, man.
Hey.
It's too much erratic shit going on. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
I feel like at least in Metropolis, right? Superman fast. He could be kind of be everywhere at once. You know what I mean? If I gotta work for LexCorp, I really ain't mad because I'm sure they pay good. You know what I mean? I ain't never really heard nothing bad about LexCorp as far as like the employees. They all seem to be living a pretty good life. Everybody in Metropolis got nice cars and houses and shit. It looked like a pretty dope ass place to live in. Outside of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, fucking Brainiac might come down and try to steal Superman. So now half of the city getting sucked into a spaceship, or you know what I'm saying, Darkseid come down and take everybody over and turn them into droid bats or some shit like that. I could live with that. You know what I mean? A fucking train might derail every now and then. No big deal. You know what I mean? Superman to catch that shit. You know what I mean? Something might blow up. Superman to catch that shit. But you never heard of like local criminals going to blow up a store, or you know what I'm saying, to rob a store or do anything like that in Metropolis, because they know Superman gonna come down and stop all that shit before it even get to happening. You know what I'm saying? I think Superman is a way better deterrent than Batman.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like more times than not. Like to me, it sounds like Metropolis is more erratic. I mean, we'll
Yeah,
talk about there's there's not one villain known to man that was um from another planet when it came to Batman.
facts,
Like
facts.
there hasn't been like all of his villains, and a lot of the times, other than the Joker, they got a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And they really only trying to either get Batman's attention
Mm-hmm.
or they trying to get him for the
Right.
most part. So they're not really just out here doing like the most when it comes to just randomly blowing up buildings and stuff like that. That's really just the Joker who do wild shit like that. We try to
Yeah.
get people included in this game, just try to blow up a boat or whatever. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
see, I
saying?
can't have a nigga like that running around the city, bro, because it's too it's too much chance going on. It's too much
Man,
chance
but
going
it
on.
sounds like Lex Luthor is the same thing in a
Nah,
way.
man. Okay, look, so like Lex Luthor, right? When he do shit that ain't like his crimes ain't like petty crimes. Like he might be doing shit like chipping off money out of a bank. You know what I'm saying? Like he doing like tax fraud and shit like that. Like he doing white collar crimes. He ain't doing nothing to where him and Superman out in the street duking it out. Now, if one of the aliens come down, that's what you got to worry about, because a building might fall over, or you might be at work and Superman might fly through your building or some shit like that, punching on a nigga. You know how you got to take a day off. If you're on the wrong side of the building, you might not even get out the building. You might just be stuck there until they come rescue you. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's some, like I said, that's some shit I could deal with. You know what I mean? Every now and then, Superman might, you know, run into the tallest building out there. I mean, if I ain't on the street, shit, I ain't got to worry about getting crushed by rocks.
I mean, true, but then at the same time, like you said, Lex Luthor might pull some shit where he dumping some shit in the river when the water ain't safe. It's like, now, don't get me wrong, that happens in America too. You know what I'm saying? Just me and Uncle Washington did a movie that I think that shit was called Dark Water or some shit like that.
Yeah,
They had Mark Ruffalo in it, where all these people in West Virginia got fucking sick because they were dumping this chemical. The DuPont family was dumping
yeah,
chemicals in the fucking water, and these motherfuckers getting cancer out of nowhere, just dying in West Virginia. So
yeah.
that shit happens here. So it's
That's what I'm
like,
saying. But you know what don't
so
happen here is goddamn a nigga dressed up as a clown. You know what I'm saying? Blowing up the Brinks
try,
truck on the
yeah,
highway
trying
with
to
seven cars
trying to
on it.
blow up Gotham uh
Hospital, you know what I'm
hospital.
saying? Yeah, shit like that. Like, yeah, man, Gotham City is too dangerous in that motherfucker, man. It's way too dangerous. Like, nigga, if it's so dangerous to where you can't even go out at nighttime, I don't want nothing to do with that, man.
Yeah, and
What
then
if I
why?
just wanted to take a drive?
Yeah, why Arkham can't just be fucking Alcatraz? Like, why so many people breaking out of Arkham? Man?
Because it's Batman.
Yeah,
He is a normal nigga with money. That's all it is. He don't got no superpowers, no nothing, bro. Like this nigga get medically treated every time he goes out. Think about that. This nigga comes back and has to get medical treatment every time he goes out to fight crime. I don't want that type of superhero, bro.
Yo, you
That's not the
remember
superhero I want.
you remember in Dark Knight Rises when that motherfucker knee was fucked up and then Alfred made him that thing to put on his
The
knee.
brace,
He
and he
kicked
had to
in the
turn it
yeah.
on and twist it. Man, hell no, man. I don't want that. I don't want that at all, bro. I'm cool, man.
Oh shit.
Like, what
That's
if,
hilarious.
what if, what if, like, you know what I'm saying? You was born and got them around the time this nigga was a superhero. So, like, by the time you 30, this nigga's 60. You know what I'm saying? Then what?
Yeah. This guy right here, but
I'm just saying, man. You gotta think about shit like that. Superman ain't he don't age like that, bro. He an alien.
Ah, this is true. This is
You know what I'm
very
saying?
true.
So I don't know,
That's
man.
hilarious.
That's I think, you know what I'm saying. If you guys is listening, let us know what y'all think, man. Let us know. Would y'all rather live in Gotham City, um, or Metropolis? And I know y'all thinking, what does this have to do with movies? Both of them niggas had a movie, so it counts. Okay, get off our backs. So, now let's go ahead and move on with the show, man. We get into our favorite segment. This segment is where we give you extra tidbits of things that we watch outside of the episode that we covering. We like to look at it like our trailer before the feature presentation. We like to call it what we watching. You ready, bro?
Yes, sir.
What we
What we
watching?
watching?
What we watching?
All right, man. So what do you have for us this week?
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Look, I've been on my game, but I got a list. But I'm only gonna do two though, because I'm gonna save them.
Okay.
I've been catching a lot of new content as of late.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so the first one that I got is the Apple TV Plus show. I think it came out last year, if I'm not mistaken, or the year before. But anyway, got Jennifer Garner in it, and it's called The Last Thing He Told Me. And so I started watching it, and it's like basically her husband, this guy that she married, he already had like a teenage child or whatever, and he works for this tech company, and the tech company ended up getting raided by the FBI. He's MIA,
Okay.
and so leaves her a letter that says protect her, but then leaves the daughter a letter saying listen to her or whatever. And they never had a good relationship because she's just teenage girl, dad that married this new woman, so she's like a straight dick to her and all this type stuff. And like now she's stuck with her. So what ended up happening is they basically starts like she's having like visions of like all these conversations that they had because the way it looks like he was a part of this Ponzi scheme that got the company, um, raided by the FBI and all this type shit.
Mm-hmm.
What they come to discover is that him and his daughter is actually in protective custody, and she had no idea. The daughter didn't even know. So now they like looking and digging into his past and coming to find out why they in protective custody and all this type of shit. Because he ended up getting into some shit with his daughter's mom's. Well, it's his ex-wife as well, but she ended up dying. And but it was some shit that he got into with her family, and that family don't fuck with them. It ended up being like a whole bunch of just shit that she
Yeah.
didn't even really know.
Oh
So it
shit.
turned out to be a pretty cool show. I mean, it's not the greatest show,
Mm-hmm.
but I will say this, man. Everything that I have watched on Apple up to this point, nothing has been like bad. Nothing has been
That is
terrible.
true. That
Like
is true.
everything is you know what I'm saying? It's above everything is at least above average and up. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't been anything that's just bad. So I know a lot of people don't be having Apple TV Plus, but if y'all looking for like some like one that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait till next week, and I'm gonna start another show. I haven't started it yet, but there's another show that I'm very interested in starting. So it's some shit on there. I'm telling you, it's some content on Apple TV Plus. So
Yeah.
that's the first one. The second one, they actually put it on Hulu, but it came out in theaters. Starring John David Washington, and it's the creator. Um,
Okay, so you took one of mine, so we good.
well, okay. How about this then? How about
No,
this
go
then?
ahead, go ahead, because this it was
No,
it was it was good.
no. No. Since, look, we'll talk about it together. But check this out.
Okay.
So I got one, and so this got to do with a little promotional thing that I was gonna do at the end.
Hmm.
So something else that I started, Netflix show Griselda. Now
Oh, okay.
there's a lot of shit around this. And I ended up saying it on the pod, which I get into all that stuff later on at the end when I promote my podcast, whatever. But anyway, something that's very interesting about it, but I kind of had to like really get into it, like on my podcast, is that so Dan Levertard has a show on Fridays called Because Miami,
Hmm.
and he always bring on Billy Corbin. And if you know Billy Corbin, he's the guy and the creator of Cocaine Cowboys. He was the
Yeah.
producer of all the Cocaine Cowboys and the director of that because he lives in Miami, so he covers a lot of Miami shit. So he came on to Dan's show with Michael Corleone, the youngest son of Griselda Blanco.
Okay.
And so they was like talking about the show Griselda, and Michael Corleone was like, none of this shit is true in the show. He was like, none of this stuff happened. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what. He's like, they just basically read some stuff and just put together something and just kind of, he was like, it's basically all fictional. He was like, none of this stuff really happened. And so I forgot when it came to the rights and all this type stuff of what Netflix really had or whatever whatnot. But he
Yeah.
was just saying like a lot of this stuff did not happen. And he was like,
Oh
it's
wow.
more fictional than it is like real life. So they are doing a podcast where, and he also said, I think he said that they're working on something as well. But anyway, so I think I'm 3 or 4 episodes in.
Hmm.
Honestly, it hasn't been holding my attention
Hmm.
as much as a person that this is my field,
Yeah.
and I think Griselda Blanco. I mean, she is. I mean, look, she's like the first billionaire drug trafficker that ever was. Like,
Hmm.
she claims she's the one who got Pablo Escobar started. This woman is like the truth. But this show, you know what I'm saying, ain't
Yeah.
really hitting like that. It ain't really
Yeah.
hitting like that.
I'm gonna
You
tell
know what
you
I'm
why I
saying?
think so. Okay. I know, a lot of people had an issue with um the whole making Sofia Vergara quote unquote ugly
Yeah.
in this, right? I think that's the issue. The issue is you have somebody like Sofia Vergara playing this role, and she doesn't look like Sofia Vergara. She looks like something or somebody else playing this role, right? And I think for the longest time when we watch these shows, like the reason we watch these shows first and foremost is because of the people who portray the roles. And you want to see that person while you're watching the film. Now, I've seen like clips and stuff that they've been showing from the show, and she don't look too far off, but like she looks like an older version of Sofia Vergara, and not a good older version either. So knowing that, I think that's really the issue here. If it was just Sofia Vergara playing like a younger version of her and this time and so on and so forth, we wouldn't even be having a debate about how good this show is because we wanted. I mean, we say it was good because we're looking at her the whole time. When you have attractive people in TV shows, you don't have issues with the TV show. You never do. Grey's Anatomy been going on. I don't know how long. I don't even know what Grey's Anatomy is about, but I know that shit been the number one show for fucking ever because they got various attractive people in this show. Whether it's a man, woman, whatever the case may be, somebody's getting fawned over in this show. What's another one? Friends, right? Friends had Jennifer Aniston. Some people fucked with Courtney Cox. Some people even fucked with Phoebe. But we also seen that the people fucked with Matt LeBlanc and the nigga that played what's his name? Not Chandler, the other
David
one.
Swazwacker. What the fuck that
Yeah,
name was?
that nigga. Right?
Yeah.
Women liked him for some odd reason. He had some type of appeal, but all his girlfriends was fire in that show. So it never was an issue. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the shows like King of Queens, we fucked with King of Queens because you know what I'm saying. Doug Heffernan was funny, but Carrie was bad. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's how it works. You have to have an attractive person in the show for people to fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? People watch Good Times to see Thelma. Nobody watches Good Times for JJ. We remember JJ. He was funny. You know what I'm saying? But Thelma was in that motherfucker. So everybody was gonna watch that. So I'm telling you, the more attractive you get, the more attractive people you get on the show, people gonna watch it. They take that makeup off of Sofia Vergara, whole nother story.
And honestly, I don't know why they felt that they necessarily had to do it because Kathleen Jetta Jones played her like 2 years ago, I think. The Godmother Cocaine came
And
out.
you know what everybody say about that? That is better than Griselda. You wanna know why?
I said it, yeah. I said, yeah.
Because Catherine Zeta Jones is fine. Plain and simple. She ain't had to
Yeah.
put on no makeup to get ugly or none of that shit. They just was like, put her in it, it's gonna be good.
And if anything, she just didn't wear makeup.
And that's what I'm saying. And not only that, don't get me wrong, Catherine Zeta Jones is a very accomplished actress. Or I'm sorry, I gotta stop saying that. I like to say actor. I don't like to do the difference thing. I like to say
Yeah.
actor because a lot of times I don't even say actress to begin with. So she's a very accomplished actor. So is Sofia Vergara. But when Sofia Vergara is in roles, right? And mind you, she really ain't did a lot of stuff where she was like the lead and shit. She usually
Yeah.
co-stars in a lot of things. But when you watch Modern Family, hey, Sofia Vergara's in it, and guess what? That shit was a high rated show.
Yeah.
When you put attractive people in there, you get high ratings. Now, you put attractive people in there who can act as well, you're gonna get even higher ratings. You know what I'm saying? Sofia Vergara can act. We've seen it. It's been proven. We know this. But you can't make her ugly.
The only rebuttal we can move
Hmm.
is now this was a movie, it wasn't a show, but they did it to oh man, what's our girl name? Uh a monster.
It wasn't Jodie Foster, was it?
No, Charlie Theron.
Oh yeah. It's Charlie Theron.
Now
Well,
Monster
for the
was,
for the reason that was a little different, but the acting in it was worth it. But even
yeah.
still, like it got the award acclaim, but you don't hear people going around talking about Monster like that.
Nah, they really don't.
You see what I'm saying? You
That shit
just
was
don't
dope
hear it.
though.
But so yeah, man, that's really all. That's just my take on it. That's my opinion. I just think that if they would have left her with her regular face, you wouldn't have had a lot of people complaining about it. Because I was actually hearing that too, that it was a thing that they were making her supposedly ugly or whatever. And then they were saying like, I know people were saying like, y'all got Sofia Vergara playing this lady and and I'm like, every time they show the picture of her, it would be like an older picture. I'm like, yo, show her younger pictures, bro. I'm sure she's very attractive. This could is possibly a very attractive woman if she's younger. Like after everything and all the stress and gun shootouts and all that other shit, yeah, that'll wear down on you. It'll make you, a little fucked up looking after a while. But I'm sure when she was, younger, she was the bee's knees. Like, give her a break, man. But for me, I had, the creator as well, John David Washington, amazing movie. Um, I was interested in it because, it had like this cyberpunk vibe to it. And it's set in like a dystopian future or whatever, where uh the countries are kind of like, what I'm saying, corporations, and the corporations are pretty much taking over, and now you have, they called them the, what was it, the droids, and the oh man, what did they call the people that was half and half?
I forget what they called them.
It was a name for them, but what I thought it was dope, because what I'm saying, like, you had like this mix between the robot race, the AIs, and then you had the human race, what I'm saying, and you had that mix in between, where it was people who were like robots, but they had like human features, and what I'm saying, like they were able to feel and all this other stuff. um Man, listen, bro, he's doing some shit. He has a fucking resume, man. We gotta. I don't know. We might have to start getting him up there, because he has a resume. You know what I'm saying? A movie like this, I don't think many people would be able to do, because like this is in the category of like Dune and Star Wars and all that type shit.
Hmm.
And for him to have like so many different lanes and what he's done, that's tough. That's tough. His resume is crazy. But this movie was amazing, man. It's pretty much about well, I don't know if you're an agent or a soldier or something like that.
He
Um
was ex special forces.
yeah, so he's a soldier. Uh and he works for the US corporation, and basically he's trying to find this weapon that somebody named Miri Mata is creating. And um basically he finds out that his wife was working for Mirimata, and what ends up happening is he finds out that the weapon is a android child. And because he finds that out, he's, what I'm saying, trying to bring the child back, so the US can, stop the quote unquote weapon from destroying this massive weapon that they have, called the oh, what was that thing called? The oh my goodness, I can't remember what it was called. It had the big ass lasers and shit on there, but it was like tearing shit up. But they had this big massive ass ship that would go around and pretty much just like destroy whatever the fuck they wanted to destroy.
Yeah.
And basically the weapon was gonna be able to stop it, but the kid had powers to like EMP every fucking thing. So, and it was able to turn shit on and off, like anything electrical it can control. So basically, he ends up finding out that his wife was a double agent, and she was pregnant, but she ended up getting killed, and or he thought she got killed. And then the child was pretty much made to be their unborn child. And so then, of course, he grew fond of the child and wanted to take care of the child and all that other stuff. Um, and he ended up succeeding. What I'm saying? He pretty much made shit right, and he ended up doing the right thing and saving everybody from this US corporation weapon. But I just advise you to go check it out. If you are into sci-fi, this is definitely one of the ones you want to go see. Great acting all around the board. Um it was a refreshing movie to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was definitely something new. It was definitely something that you don't see all the time, which I definitely appreciated. I'm getting sick of remakes and rewrites and all that shit. So this was something different. I appreciated it, and I was like, yeah, I could fuck with this. Um, and then second and last, I watched the Marvels. You know what I'm saying? Um, Starring Brie Olsen, and I forgot the other two characters' name. The one lady name is Paris something,
No,
but
Brie
I forgot.
Larson.
Brie Larson. Yeah, I said Brie Olsen. Brie Larson. Paris. I forgot what her name is, and then the other girl, little girl that played Miss Marvel in the show. Uh, Now I will say this: they did a great job, right? They continue to carry on the characters that they've been playing. Um, but my thing was is that I felt like they tried to do what they did with the Avengers and try to like bring this group of women together to create like this super team, which it was cool, but it was just like it was too dull for me. And the reason that it was too dull, it wasn't because of the three superheroes, because to me, this was the first time where I liked the three superheroes more in the movie. The villain was trash. The villain was horrible. Um, the lady that played the villain, I don't know if it was her or if it was just that she just wasn't believable enough to be a villain, right?
Hmm.
So basically this movie is about Captain Marvel. She went and destroyed the Kree um planet. Well, she did. She destroyed the Kree planet because it's this thing called the Supreme Intelligence that was running it. She destroyed that, so it ruined the planet. And the Kree and the Skrulls have been kind of at a war. They ended up on a peace treaty after Captain Marvel came around, and then after that, it was a Cree lady by the name of Ben Dar or Dar Ben or Dar Ben. That's what it was, Dar Ben. Um, and she ended up finding this weapon, which was the other piece to Captain Marvel's superpower, and she was using the weapon to create the jump points. And when she was creating the jump points, it was stealing certain things from all these different planets that she was going to, which just so happened to be all the places that Captain Marvel was a part of. Because she was trying to get retribution for her destroying the planet, she was going to bring it back by destroying all the places that she loved. Um, Long story short, they end up stopping her. Miss Marvel now has both of the things for her superpowers. Um, Photon is in another universe, and Captain Marvel is still fucking Captain Marvel. Um, but yeah, the villain is for me. I tell everybody, a story is not gonna be good unless you have the right antagonist. If you do not have the right antagonist, you're not gonna have a good villain. I mean, you're not gonna have a good movie, plain and simple. But that's it. Go check it out if you can. It's out to rent or own. Um, it'll be out on Disney Plus soon. We've went on long enough. Um, but unfortunately, we have to get to this. And we'll start it off by saying this.
Where's the fucking Rocky theme? Damn. Rest in peace, Apollo. Where's the fucking Rocky theme? Damn. Rest in peace, Apollo Creed.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened right there. Forgive me, guys. But yes, rest in peace, Apollo Creed. Rest in peace to Carl Weathers, who passed away this past week, February 1st, 2024. Um, I know you guys are thinking this is supposed to be about Ron Howard, but we had to do an audible, like as I said, only because this is this guy is very important in film history, a very very important figure in film history. So much so that it was, I think, he ended up doing. Let me see. When was his last movie before this?
Well, the last thing he did was The Mandalorian. I thought you would have knew that off top
Oh no no
because
no! I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
oh
about
okay.
just the last movie that he had did was in, I believe, 1992, and then he was doing no, I'm sorry, last movie was in 1995, but they were like low budget movies and stuff like that, right? One of the major movies he's done is Rocky, where he played Apollo Creed. Of course, he was in Predator. Um, he played in a lot of action films. He was Action Jackson, you know, no pun intended. That was, what it was. Like he was a major action figure. Kind of laid low. He was in a couple TV shows and doing this thing still. And then in '96, he reemerges in a comedy by the name of Happy Gilmore, where he becomes Happy Gilmore's golf trainer. and everybody gathered a love for Carl Lewis once again. I mean Carl Lewis. Why I keep thinking of the fucking scene in ATL? I'm sorry, I watched ATL recently, so I keep thinking of the scene where his little brother running and Big Boy stopped like, God damn, where you going, Carl Lewis?
Carl
But
Lewis.
anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. I meant Carl Weathers. I meant Carl Weathers. But everybody regained their love for Carl Weathers after seeing him in this comedy. And it seemed like right after Happy Gilmore, man, he got back to it. He ended up in doing reprising the role in Lil Nicky. He did a voiceover in Eight Crazy Nights. He started doing the voiceover in Balto. He did some video game work, and then he got right back into the movies. And then let me see. The next big thing that he did was, I'm trying to find it. He did some stuff in Toy Story, which was huge.
Yeah,
Um, he voiced let me see, he voiced Jax in Mortal Kombat. He ended up on Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Justice, which is huge. Um, he was on a episode of Magnum PI, episode of Law and Order. You know what I'm saying? Like he really got into his bag and started going to work, and then boom, the Mandalorian hits, and he's back on top again. You know what I'm saying? Playing Grief Karga, and you know what I'm saying. We were super excited to see Carl Weathers playing this role. Not only that, because we have a Mandalorian movie coming out, and um, he played a very important role in the Mandalorian because he was pretty much like the guy to go to get the bounties. You know what I'm saying, for all the bounty hunters, because that's what the Mandalorian is. He's a bounty hunter. So like he was the guy to go to get all the bounties and everything. So we like, damn, Carl Weathers. You know what I'm saying? He was in commercials. Like he was really back to doing this thing, man. And he was like up there, up there. You know what I'm saying? And so you can imagine just waking up on the first and chilling, and next thing you know, you get a fucking notification across your phone that fucking Carl Weathers, you know, passed on, man. So, before we even really get into it, we would definitely like to say that we would like to send condolences to his family, his friends, fans, and all his associates. You know, rest in peace to Carl Weathers.
definitely. Um, yeah, man, he was. I mean, for me personally, um, it's Apollo Creed and Dylan and Predator.
Hmm.
Um, but his path, which we seen, was with him being a football player, playing at San Diego State, leaving there, playing for the Oakland Raiders. Well, I can't remember if that was Oakland or LA Raiders when he was there. One of the
Probably
two.
LA.
Um, Played for a couple of seasons, and then he decided to hang it up to become an actor, which it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Which, especially in those times in the '70s,
That was not uncommon.
yeah, Fred Williamson did it, Jim Brown did it.
Hmm.
Like it was just like, yo, if I could go over here and kind of make similar money and not take the punishment, you know what I'm saying? Let me go over here. So it wasn't, something where he reinvented the wheel or anything like that. But to, do a little something here, a little something there, and then boom, he gets hit with the role of a lifetime. Um, but
Action motherfucking Jack. No, just play.
you stupid. um, he gets hit with this. Now, honestly, it's out there. It's public knowledge that the person that was originally supposed to be for Ken Norton,
Hmm.
and ultimately he ended up getting the role. And so I watched the video earlier today. I don't know where it originated from, but ESPN had posted it, and it was Sylvester Stallone. And he was just, giving his condolences and all of that type stuff, but talked about how it was he was more than just basically an actor that acted with me. He was just like he was a friend, all this type of stuff. But he also said that Rocky would not be what it is today without Apollo Creed.
That's
Like
true.
he was like this movie never would have got legs if it wasn't for the performance of Carl Weathers in this movie.
Absolutely.
And so much so where you know now there is a Creed 3 that's out in the world. It just came out last
Yeah.
year. So I think that this character that started in 1975, the shit is still going on in 2023.
Hmm.
And possibly depending on how they plan on playing this thing out, because the way that they did it, you know, it's still up in the air of like, are they going to turn, and I don't mean this in any type of way, it's just I don't know another way to say it. Are they gonna take it into, what I'm saying, a deaf girl to take this thing over? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
because he was quote unquote retired. Like he retired like two times
Hmm.
in fucking Creed 3. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Real quick. Speaking of Creed 3, I don't know if I said this when we did the review on this on that movie. I'm sorry. He was totally out of his weight class fighting Jonathan Majors. By the way.
dude, this is the okay. Do you really want to have this conversation?
Real quick, yes,
Because
because that was
dude,
crazy.
everybody was out of their weight class.
No,
Carl
for sure,
Weathers, listen,
for
Carl
sure,
Weathers had Rocky by 45 pounds,
for
man.
sure.
There's no way they
When
were
that nigga,
supposed
when
to
Rocky
fight.
fought Drago, I'm like, or Mr. T, I'm like, fam, no,
And even when Creed fought, Adonis Creed fought
the
Drago's
younger
son.
Drago, yeah,
He's he's got him, dude.
he had him by
He
like
got,
70 pounds.
he had him by 7 weight classes, man. There's no way this
I'm
shit
like,
was legal.
fam, yeah, that's not, you can't do that.
So yes, they always fought. That's how you could tell. Like if you are just a fan of boxing
Yeah,
and you watch these movies and you
yeah,
like, yo, this is impossible. There's no way
bro,
this has happened. We're talking
bro,
about a welterweight fighting a heavyweight. Like,
come on, man.
there's no way that these fights are happening in real life. But
At best, he was probably like light middleweight,
yeah,
fighting a
like,
fucking
but then the
damn near
crazy
super
part
heavyweight.
was, no, the crazy part was in Rocky 3, where he was training him to fight Mr. T, he had him lose like 15 pounds so he could be quicker because he couldn't fight him straight up the way that he's been fighting Apollo. He's
Yeah,
like,
because
yo, like,
Mr. T was gonna knock his fucking block. The same way Jonathan Major should have knocked that nigga block off, man. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Like imagine like what's the young boy's name? Bud. Um
but
oh man, what is dude's name? Or the young dude Shakur, one of them, right? And them niggas go fight Deontay Wilder. Come on, man.
yeah, like
No.
that's the only thing about Rocky movies is
Yeah.
that everybody that he fought at least had him by 40 pounds.
Come on, bro. Like,
Even when he fought Tommy in the streets, Tommy had this
well, that yeah,
dude by like 50 pounds.
only reason I fucked with that because that was a street fight, so I wasn't really too mad at that
I
because
mean, yeah,
that's a
but
street
they
fight,
was yeah, but it was just like, come on, man. Like, yeah, these fights are not happening in real life.
bro.
But
Apollo Creed was like a solid what, maybe 220, 215, 220. This nigga Rocky was like at best like 170, 175. Hey man, Apollo Creed was gonna murder that man for real. I think Apollo Creed took it easy on that nigga.
I mean, it seemed that way because even when you watch it, and what was also something that it's funny that they keep it a secret. How because if you keep up with the series, you know Apollo won.
Hmm.
Rocky like what they knocked each other out, and he just got up before the damn time expired in the second
Yeah,
one,
and then
and then
the third one
the
end on the punch.
yeah, where they both about to punch each other, where they
Yeah,
fought privately, but
yeah.
nobody know who won the fight
Come
because
on,
it's a
we know who won that
tiebreaker.
fight. That's why they ended it like that. We know who won that fight. I told y'all what Rocky was about. Y'all niggas thought I was joking. I done already gave y'all my Rocky theory. Rocky is about a nigga who wanted to fight. He just got his ass whooped all the time.
Hey,
I'm telling you,
we
Rocky.
know who won.
Yeah, we know when that fight. That's why it ended like that. And the story goes that Apollo busted his ass in that sparring match. But nah, this nigga Rocky, the whole purpose of Rocky, I mean, the whole point of Rocky is him getting whooped on, and then eventually he comes back to win. But that's all it is. He's just a nigga that's getting whooped on. He's a normal average nigga getting his ass whooped.
That is hilarious. But yeah, man. But this character, man, of Apollo Creed. But even what he stood for, and it's wild the route that it ended up taking. But I mean, it's a realistic route where you know what I'm saying, where he had another family type of thing or whatever, whatnot. But I mean, it's a boxer dude that got money in the '70s and '80s and shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
no. Let's not downplay it. He was Apollo Creed, my nigga. This nigga,
yeah,
listen, niggas forget. This nigga came out with James Brown performing. Living in America with the American short tone and everything. This nigga was that nigga. Like, let's not forget. Apollo Creed was that nigga. He had the
no, he
clean ass
was.
afro. You know what I'm saying? He had the facial hair. Like this nigga was the man.
He really
Don't
was.
forget that part. That nigga had James Brown performing on his entrance. Not too
Yeah,
many
man.
niggas ever did that.
But then he's also the person that created one of the best memes of all time.
What?
Throw the damn
Throw the damn
towel.
towel. Fighting the fucking Russian, man. Russian
Man,
out here juicing and shit.
yeah, out here
Man, I can't
claiming
believe
to
they
be a
tried to do that
machine.
to Dolph Ziggler, man. I mean, Dolph Ziggler,
What?
Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Ziggler's a wrestler. I told you man, listen, I don't consume so much fucking content. I don't start watching Dark Side of the Ring and shit, and I don't start watching wrestling again. All kind of shit is flowing through my head right now. But I meant Dolph Lundgren. I'm sorry, y'all. But Dolph Lundgren used to be my guy because he was in He-Man. And
Yeah,
if y'all know, when I was a kid, bro, He-Man was that nigga to me. Like I fucked with He-Man like heavy. Like I had the toys, I had all that shit. Like I was a fucking I had the sword. Like He-Man was that nigga, bro. And so, you know what I'm saying? When I seen the real movie, I was like, oh shit. Like as a kid, you like, oh man, that's He-Man. So every time I seen Dolph Lundgren, nigga, I that was He-Man. I didn't know his
yeah,
real name. I didn't know his real name until like I was 14. I always just call him He-Man.
yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it
So
be like that.
yeah. So when I seen him do Apollo Creed like that, I was like, I mean, shit, he shouldn't have fucked with He-Man.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I, I mean, shit, he must not know who this nigga is. Like shit, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they did my man wrong, man. I can't believe that, man. You know,
Yeah,
he had a filthy stain on him off that movie.
yeah, man. But I mean, yeah, he that was really something. But then, man, to
Hmm.
see him in for me, the Predator, man. I don't know how old I was when I first saw it.
Hmm.
Um, because I mean, Predator came out in '87, so I was only 2. So obviously, I didn't watch it till early '90s or whatever. But the Predator, man, was really like one of the first of its kind. Like
Yeah,
that motherfucker was. I'm
yeah.
talking about. You want to talk about an alien that you're afraid of? Like
Oh, for sure.
I was scared of the Predator. Yo, this shit was crazy. This motherfucker had heat sensors and shit.
I was
This
scared of the
motherfucker,
Predator when he took his mask off.
yeah, that motherfucker ugly as
That
fuck.
fucked me up when I was a kid.
Yeah, then the little thing on the side of his mouth moving and shit.
Hell
It's like,
yeah.
yo, what the fuck?
Hell
Did
yeah.
he
I was
shoot him?
like,
This
that's
green
not
shit
trying to
come
fuck.
out?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not trying to fuck that nigga.
But
He
yo,
could turn invisible and shit. Yeah, nah.
you want to know how he turned invisible though?
Hell,
He used the Apple Watch, man.
that's true. That's
The
true.
president had an Apple Watch in '87, man.
Yeah, and it had the alarm clock face.
Hey,
Hey, the 80s was ridiculous.
hey, the '80s was wild as fuck, man.
The 80s was so fucking ridiculous, bro. Everything was either in space or um nah, really everything was just in space.
And I mean, well, we had the conversation of like it was a time for horror. Like that's when you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Jace, we got. Well, technically, Michael Myers came out late '70s, but
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying. But more of the movies came out in the '80s. But we had Freddy Krueger, we had Jason, and we had fucking Michael Myers and shit. But
Mhm.
then you getting shit like the Predator and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like that shit was wild as fuck. And the makeup that they used for the Predator, that shit was on point. And
Yeah, it
this is
was.
the '80s.
Cause that shit
Like,
looked realistic as fuck.
yeah, but to see him in that alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was just
And don't
like,
forget Bill Duke.
yep, Bill Duke was in that bad boy, and like he just stood out in that, man. Like I think that coming into it with Rocky being and becoming what it is.
Mhm.
And then, because honestly, when it comes to big movies, because what he did Rocky 1 in '75, right?
Mhm.
Great fucking start. So then he comes with Rocky 2 in '79. Then he have Rocky 3 in which he died in that one in 1982. Now they show him, but he wasn't in Rocky 4, but they just showed clips from him
Yeah,
dying. You know what I'm saying? In it, so he got credited for it or whatever,
of
whatnot.
course.
But then to really flip the whole script and not quote unquote like be an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is where now he don't get me wrong, he acted in Rocky, but he was quote unquote not an athlete.
Mhm.
Well, he was an athlete, what I'm saying, being a football player. But now, like in Predator, he's, what I'm saying, special ops or whatever they call themselves,
Right.
Marines, whatever they call themselves. And I felt like this was more acting in this. And Predator being what it was, being one of really the first of its kind, and then also being alongside, so you're alongside Sylvester Stallone, now you're alongside fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he held
Mhm.
his own in that shit.
And let's not forget, you know what I'm saying, before he even got into the movies, okay? First off, this nigga got a TV fucking resume.
Oh yeah, his
This
TV
this
resume is
nigga
crazy.
this nigga was in Good Times. This nigga
Mhm.
was in Kung Fu. Now, I don't know if you ever seen Kung Fu, but Kung Fu was that shit. This nigga was in SWAT, the $6 million man. He was in uh Cannon. He was in Switch. Let me see. He was in McCloud. He was in a show called Most Wanted. This nigga was in Starsky and Hutch. Okay. This is after
Mhm.
Rocky. Starsky and Hutch, Barnaby Jones, Serpico, Del Vecchio, The Streets of San Francisco, Tales of the Unexpected. Um, Let me see. He was in. Oh, he did Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is a movie, but classic movie nonetheless. Um, and after Rocky 2, it was just all movies from there on out. But bro, them are some classic ass TV shows to be a part of. That's a fucking run.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a run to have all those like, and when I say classics, I mean like if you turn on TV Land or you go back and watch one of those channels that's showing all the old shows, like he's a part of those, like the ones that's still getting syndication to this day.
Hey,
Like
you want to know? You want to know
that's
another
big.
one that's getting syndication to this day?
What's that?
He was in it from nine. He was in 28 episodes from 93 to 95. He was in the heat of the night.
Yeah, yeah, he was.
So that's another one of them ones that still be rolling. Now he did Street Justice for 2 years. He was in 44 episodes of that from 91 to 93.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? He really was working from 91 to 95. He was putting in work. You know what I'm
Constantly
saying?
over
44
over
episodes and
80
28
projects.
episodes.
Over
Yeah.
80 projects, bro. But listen, this is the crazy part. So where we at right here? Rocky 4, right? That's the one where he got credited, okay?
Yeah.
Um Not only is he in that, he's also in the music video for James Brown Living in America, cuz like I said, James Brown was performing.
Hmm.
He played Cullen Monroe in a TV movie called The Defiant Ones, which is also a boxing movie. Then he had a TV show that he had that only ran for 6 episodes called Fortune Dame. Didn't do too much because it's only 6 episodes. Predator comes out. He plays Dylan. I was about to say villain. He plays Dylan. The next year, this nigga gets his own movie,
Yep.
Action Jackson. One of the best action movies you could ever watch. Hilarious, great cast. I'm talking about just every Nelson Craig is the bad guy. Vanity is the damsel in distress. Like everything you could ever want in the movie, right? Action Jackson, he the lead, kills it. I don't know if you ever seen Action Jackson, but it's a great movie, right?
Hmm.
Um, does another TV movie after that, does another show, Tour of Duty, does another movie, gets the Street Justice, does another TV series, um, Heat of the Night, and then boom, Happy Gilmore. And the love pours in after Happy Gilmore, bro. Him playing Chubbs and Happy Gilmore is possibly one of the greatest things you could ever seen. Because up until this point, we've never seen him in a comedy role. We've never
Hmm.
seen him really do comedy. He did, he joked around and he had some parts in Rocky or whatever. Because I think Rocky is where we really get to see him kind of like, you know,
I really
give
see his
some of his,
personality, really.
yeah, exactly. Right. He shows some of his chops. But in Happy Gilmore, bro, for him to first off be older, right? Because this is 96. He was born in what, 48. So around this time, he like in his 50s or getting close to his 50s. You know what I'm saying? Um, so he does that and is hilarious in it. Hilarious. It's all in the hips. It's all in it. Like, come on, man. That motherfucker had that fake hand that he took from the mannequin because of the goddamn alligator. Like, bro, and the alligator was missing an eye because they got into a fight and shit. Like, that shit was hilarious, bro. Like, I really fucked with Happy Gilmore, man. But seeing Carl Weathers, I mean,
Oh
like,
man.
just playing that role, bro, you couldn't ask for anything better because it was so unexpected, right? Like if you take anybody else and make them play that role, it's not gonna hit the same. You know what I'm saying? At this time, Adam Sandler is on the all-time high. He's killing the game right now. You know what I'm saying? Like fresh out of SNL, he's at, you know what I'm saying, like peak stardom. Everything that he's doing is amazing. Big Daddy coming out soon. I think he was just coming off of oh my god, what was that? Hold on, because it's gonna kill me if I don't find this out. But he before he had Big Daddy, he had um
You're not talking
I
about
mean not
Waterboy,
Big
are you?
Daddy, Happy Gilmore. I'm sorry. Before he had Happy Gilmore, he was in, God damn, he got a long ass list.
Yeah, he
Billy
definitely got a
Madison.
little.
That's what I'm thinking of. Billy Madison does good. He ends up getting Happy Gilmore. Then after Happy Gilmore, he gets Big Daddy, Waterboy. Like, and I'm talking about Adam Sandler is on the rise. Then so as he's doing all of these movies, you know what I'm saying? Like he's bringing in as many people as he can and sort of on the decline. Like when he's like now he's like super established. He's got his own production company. He's doing the thing or whatever. He does a movie called Little Nicky. And what does he do? He brings Carl Weathers back into it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the just that type of thing, man. Just like another comedy under his belt. You know what I'm saying? And then of course he goes on to do a whole bunch of work with Adam Sandler. Of course, he did Eight Crazy Nights. He did some voiceover work for that. Like I said, he did some stuff for some video games. Um, he's doing kind of like straight to DVD movies. Ended up being in The Shield, which was a big show. Um, I'm trying to see, he was in ER, Psych, Brothers. Uh, let me see, Arrested Development. Um, like I said, the Chicago Fire Joints. He did all that. He was in the remake of Magnum PI. He was in Law and Order, Special Victims Unit with Ice T. Ended up doing a voiceover for Toy Story, and then boom, he shows up in 2019 in The Mandalorian, which is one of the top rated shows of the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, bro, his career didn't do anything but get better. It's not a lot of people that can really say that. Like his career was constantly going up, everything that he was doing, and it seemed like that's all he was doing was working.
I mean, it's called. That's one of the things, man. You want to be a working actor, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of the time, you'll see like when you start to really look at some of these people's IMDb, you'll see, you know what I'm saying, 2 years, there's nothing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Some people it might be 4 years, there's nothing. But it's like this guy, he literally had some at least something going on from
Mm-hmm.
year to year. Now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously he ended up not just being an actor, you know what I'm saying? You know, he ended up being a director and a producer as well. So he was able to start getting, you know what I'm saying, money coming anyway. But at the end of the day, like obviously the royalty checks from the fucking Rocky joints is, you know what I'm
Shit,
saying?
Predator too.
Yeah, yeah. Predator
Not for
2 now.
nothing.
So yeah, I mean those are those. I mean, in my opinion, just S. Dot Foster, like those are the two
Yeah.
where it's like you know Carl Weathers is where he's look. I mean, I know that Action Jackson was like his first starring role, but Action Jackson like at the time. You know, because I was looking at this thing about it, it was like it didn't do well in the box office, but it was
No.
one of those things that got
Cult
better
classic.
with time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it turned
definitely a
into a
cult
cult
classic
classic.
for sure.
It's just one of those things that didn't do well at the time, but then the shit just blew up. Kind of like The Wire. Like The Wire didn't do well at the time, but then
Right.
all of a sudden that shit just skyrocketed up where it's
So
considered one of the best shows.
this is the thing, right? In 1988, I don't know what it is about this year. Other than me being born, you know what I'm saying? They had this thing where like black movies from this year, I don't know what happened when they came out, but like later on down the line, they just ended up being like legendary. So in 1988, right? You got Action Jackson, you got The Last Dragon, and you got Coming to America. That's just three off top that I know for sure.
Wait a minute. Let's see.
The Last Dragon might be 87, but I believe it was
No, I
88.
think no, I think The Last Dragon came out in '84. I think that shit came out before I was born.
Okay, so I might be wrong about that one. But at least you still got
Um,
you still got Coming to America and you got Action Jackson. And they end up being these, well, Coming to America is one of the, well, for me it's the greatest comedy ever. For some people, it's one of the greatest comedies ever.
Well, okay, so Moving came out in '88
Okay.
with Richard Pryor. Now
Hmm.
that if I can see that's not doing well at the time, but that's a cult classic.
Absolutely.
We need to do that shit on here. That shit is
Yeah,
fucking hilarious.
absolutely. But that's what I'm
Um,
saying. If you look at the movies that came out in '88, though, like it's some movies that came out in '88 that you'll be like, ain't no way that came out in '88. It's a lot of good shit that came out in '88. So for him to have a starring role at that time after doing um the movies that he's done, after doing Rocky, you know what I'm saying? Like you could tell that they seen that he could be a big push for, you know what I'm saying, like another star, whether it be action or anything in that, anything or any sub branch of that action genre. They seen like, yo, we got to get him to do something. We got to get him to do something because he
yeah,
definitely deserved it.
I'm sitting here looking at. I'm not really a lot of like quote unquote like black films that came out in
Okay,
'88.
so let me
I
see.
mean, like don't get me wrong, like it's some shit in here, but it's not really like black films. Like I mean, you got a Buzz of Law, you got Bloodsport. Um, I mean, Red Scorpion, Rambo 3. You know
Rambo
what I'm
3 is
saying?
kind
The
of like a black movie.
Deadpool. Yo, you stupid. Yeah, you stupid as fuck.
I'm just saying,
Die
a,
Hard
a
2.
movie about survival.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm looking at it, I'm not really saying what Black Cobra 2, Fred Williamson,
Hmm. Which is
American
another classic.
Gladiators, Colors. You know what I'm saying? Robert Duvall's uh, director debut. I believe it was his debut. Him and Sean Penn.
But
Um, the,
okay,
the Naked
just
Gun.
so look at this though. You got Nightmare on Elm Street 4. You got Friday the 13th Part 7. You got Halloween 4. You got Child's Play. You the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Um Poltergeist 3, right?
You
Return of
got
the Living
Big.
Dead Part 2. Like you said, Colors. Crocodile Dundee 2. Pumpkinhead. You got Twins. Um The Return of the Killer Tomatoes, bro. You remember that?
No, I do not remember that.
They used to that it was a movie, but they came out with a cartoon that was pretty good. They used to come on TV all the time. Um
You got Big. You
Hellraiser
got
2.
Twins.
Um bro, I'm gonna get you sucker.
Yeah, that's that joint.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Coming to America. Um what else? What else? What else? This look like it's showing all horror movies.
Big Top Pee Wee Herman. That's what I'm saying. Like when I look
You
at
said the
'88.
Naked Gun, right?
Yeah, yeah, the Naked Gun, The Accused. Jodie Foster got some shit for that.
Scrooged
Um,
came out in '88.
Rain Man came out in '88.
Yeah, bro. Like
I mean,
it
look, I
got
mean, there's some stuff in there.
88 was a pretty decent year, bro. Mississippi Burning,
Yep,
Clara's Heart. Don't ask me how I know about that movie.
yeah, that's
Um,
funny.
man, shoot.
Dang, Whoopi Goldberg had two movies that year.
A word.
She had Claire's Heart and The Telephone.
I mean, God Bless the Child came out in '88. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these is like I said, some of these movies that we naming, you'd be surprised at the people who really fuck with these movies, bro.
Yeah,
Beetlejuice came out. Yo, That's crazy. I didn't know Beetlejuice came out in '88.
I didn't either. I did not either.
That's crazy. So I mean, like,
It's crazy.
just you know what I'm saying, like, not for nothing, bro. Like, for some of the, and mind you, it wasn't a lot of black movies coming out in the '80s anyway.
Yeah,
But for the
that didn't really boom into the '90s.
exactly, so it was like a resurgence in the '90s because in the '60s and '70s we had black exploitation, which kind of put
Yeah,
Hollywood back on the map. It kind of saved Hollywood's ass. And then you get all the rest of these movies between the '70s and then the '80s, and that's like somewhere in the '80s. I know we talk a lot about like the whole war thing, but it was a big thing where like sci-fi and comedy was dealing with like space, like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You know what I'm saying? Had to deal with some type of sci-fi shit. It was the one movie where the dudes in high school built the girl. The I forgot what that shit was called, but they built this girl or whatever. It was, oh my god, I can't forget. I can't even think. I mean, I'm mad. I'm forgetting this, but it'll come to me later, and it'll come at the wrong time. I'm sure. But it was like all of that. What space balls? Like all of that shit was everything was just. It was something about space in the '80s, bro, that people
yeah.
was really fuck with. I think didn't Tron come out in the '80s? I think Tron is an
I
'80s
think the
movie.
original Tron came out in the '80s.
Yeah, I think that Tron is like an '80s. So like it was a lot of shit dealing with space. So at the time when you had like, I mean, even Predator, if you think about it, Predator, Alien, you know what I'm
Yeah, it was an
saying?
alien. Yeah,
Yeah, all those type of things. So then when you get a movie, no, Star Wars was '70s, Star Trek was before that too. So that's out of the question. But those movies did kind of pick up again. Well, no, I think Star Wars was done by the '80s or probably early '80s because I think the first Star Wars came out in '76, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, like that shit was big in the '80s. Like space movies was big in the '80s. So for him to do an action movie and not have nothing to do with that after he's been in Predator already, and you know what I'm saying, like for him to just do a straight up like street cop action movie. Oh, when did no Beverly Hills Cop came out when?
in the '80s.
'80s, right?
Um, yeah, I think. Oh
Because
man,
I
I
was about to
want to
say
say
that
like
was buddy cop
like
time too, wasn't it?
'86. Yeah, somewhere like '86,
Yeah.
somewhere
So
in
like
there, and then another 48 hours and another 48 hours was in the '80s too.
right. So those movies was popping at the time. So to put him in anything in that realm, right? To put him as like a cop or a dude that's fighting in space or some shit like that, would think, especially him coming off of the Rocky fame, you would think that that would have did something. I think it was just a little bit too late. I think because of '88, it was getting, you know what I'm saying, like it's toward the end of all that shit. The buddy cop thing kind of moved to TV. It kind of fell off. And then and I think in Action Jackson, he was by himself most of the time too. And then he was trying to save Vanity. Craig T. Nelson was the bad guy who, you know what I'm saying, he was a big name around that time. Vanity was a big name, but I think around that time she wasn't as big as she was like during like the Last Dragon and all that shit.
Yeah, still
Because I
fine as hell
think,
though.
oh for sure, but I think Girl Six had already got up out of there by that time.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so like to see him doing Action Jackson, bro, like that's to this day, I will watch that shit hands down. I would definitely fuck with Action Jackson. Um, but I mean, I just don't know, man. I was excited to see him in Mandalorian. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
I know what it's like for people to get into that Star Wars universe, and that means a lot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's gonna do a lot for your career. I don't care how old you are. It's gonna do a lot for your career. Um, it's going to really take you to like a different level, especially far as pay goes, as far as what you do after that goes. I mean, look at John Boyega. You know what I'm saying? Like right after he did Star Wars, he was getting roles back and forth. He was just constantly in there. Um and unfortunately, with the movie coming out, I really don't know too much about where that's going to put him. Cuz I mean, they could have already shot some stuff and they could already put some stuff there, so who knows? He might still, what I'm saying, like have a cameo or something in there, but it ain't really no telling. So hopefully um hopefully he's in there. That would definitely be good to see.
It would be.
Yeah. So usually we do it coming soon, but since we're doing an appreciation episode, we don't do it coming soon. We do a top 3. So I'll let you go first, bro. Uh Top 3 Carl Weathers movies, what you got?
Oh man, unfortunately, it's gonna be in the same round. But I gotta go. I gotta go Rocky one, and I gotta go Rocky two. I can't go Rocky three because he died in that one.
Right.
And I gotta go to Predator, man. Predator,
Okay.
Predator was my shit, man. Um, but yeah, I gotta stay in that lane, man. I just felt like that start and that performances that he gave in those three movies, man. To be coming off the football field and to do
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Yeah. Big
gotta
time.
give it to him.
Big time. So I'm gonna go Predator, of course. Um because he was like second in command on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he was definitely like the right hand man. And I'm gonna go Rocky too, because that was like the start of their friendship. You know what I'm saying? That's when they was getting like buddy buddy and shit. And that
Yep.
took Rocky to new heights. If it wasn't for Apollo Creed and them niggas running in the sand at the beach, Rocky wouldn't be shit. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? My
With the
man was
short shorts.
training. Yeah, my man was training Rocky, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they got cool and shit. But no, Rocky 2 is the one that I fuck with. And then yeah, of course, man, Action Jackson, bro. You know what I'm saying? My man was he was standing on the other side of Vanity, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Only one other man did that. And that nigga was
Top
a
Ty
karate
Mac,
expert.
the Ty Mac.
Yeah,
I
he was a
don't know how
karate
they pronounce
expert,
it.
man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he almost lost the show enough. But then he got the glow because he was thinking about vanity. He was like, I can't
Oh
lose
my
that. I got the you know what I'm saying? I got to get the groove like my little brother been telling me, bro.
god.
And if I die, I never get it. So he caught the glow and whooped show enough ass. Um, yeah, but that Action Jackson for sure, bro. You know what I'm saying? I definitely fucked with that movie, bro. And that was my first time realizing, you know what I'm saying, that Craig T. Nelson could really be like a bad guy. Cause he was doing, remember when he was doing Coach? Did you ever see Coach, the
No.
TV show?
No, I never seen that TV show.
Okay, so in Coach, like he was a great dude. And me, of course I'm younger, so like I seen Coach first. I didn't see
Uh-huh.
Action Jackson until like I was a little bit older. So I seen Coach and I was like, man, this dude seemed pretty cool. And then I seen Action Jackson and I was like, this dude is horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't
This
he the
dude is
dad in
bad.
Poltergeist?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But that was, I mean, he was still a good dude in that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I seen Action Jackson, I was like, this nigga's asshole. So yeah, Craig T. Nelson is definitely, he played a great bad guy though. Played a
Oh
great
yeah.
bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, man, because he's done some work. But yeah, man. Once again, man, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Um, sheesh, that's a tough loss, bro. Um, are you ready to get into the coming soon?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it, man.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right. Next episode, man, we are going to get into the anthology series from Netflix, which possibly put Netflix on the map. This is one of the ones that um around the time it came out, if you didn't have Netflix and you never seen this, you definitely went and got Netflix just to see this because this was something that everybody was raving about, everybody was talking about. We are talking about Black Mirror. That's right. None other than Black Mirror. Sci-fi horror anthology series that has stood the test of time. You know what I'm saying? It was some issues here and there around one season, but I ain't gonna lie, they found a way to still get people to talk about it regardless. And yeah, we gonna definitely talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
So listen, if you enjoyed this episode, if you didn't enjoy this episode, if you too are a fan of Carl Weathers and you have any kind of memory of him to talk about, and whether it's a movie, TV show, commercial, whatever, hit us up on socials. Let us know on Instagram at View Anon Pod. You can hit us up on Facebook on the VA Pod Watch Group. And you can catch us on YouTube. You can comment on this episode and let us know. Or you can subscribe to the pod, $2.99 a month. And you can let us know on those episodes. And that's that. If you want to follow me personally, you can follow me on X or Twitter at Scoots Bronson. I have a link tree in my bio. You can follow me everywhere else there.
Yep, and y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on X. At 28 minutes or less pod. That is just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. New episode is out today, which is called um, Cocaine Cowboys 2. Griselda and Charles is how I end up putting it in there. But it's just me really kind of going over that, man. Like I said, there's a lot of people talking about Griselda Blanco right now because of this new Griselda series. So I've been wanting to do something on her for a minute, and so I kind of combined the her and Charles story together because that's what Cocaine Cowboys 2 is about. So I get into that episode 144. So go check it out on all major platforms. That's all I got, man.
Cool, man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. As always, your support is greatly appreciated. And of course, you already know we could not get out of here without saying Happy Black History Month. To all those out there who are celebrating, whether you are or you are not a Black American. But Happy Black History Month to you all. Um, Hopefully, you guys go out there and you learn something important, you learn something helpful, or you contribute so you can become a part of Black history. But outside of that, like we say in Hollywood, or like they say in Hollywood, I'm sorry. That's a wrap.
Cut.